made me frustrated. It made me realize that everyone was going through the same mistakes over and over and over. Everyone's there to tell you what to do. No one's there to show you how to do it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This is part 2 of Christian's interview from WeAreNoCode. Let us know. Thumb up the video. Make sure to subscribe if you like these tips on building with no code, saving time using automations. We have some updates coming soon for our V1 builder too, if you want to get in and play with that. People who have access to TaskMagic. So all you AppSumo links out there get free access, first free access. If you want to launch, it's a completely different product, but we'll let you go in, play around, do everything you want first, and then let us know your thoughts. So that's coming. Comment if you want that, by the way, if you want to test and use our builder. You don't have to buy anything right now. We know a lot of people from the community did it or wanted access to it. But yeah, that was kind of like just a product that we kind of moved away from that. We still kind of have there or sit there. We have like a request list that's, God, 12,000, 10 to 15,000 people deep. But if you engage on here, I'll give you access to it in the next week or so. Look forward to this interview. In here, a piece of it, we talk about like being authentic and building a personal brand around like products. And I know I've taken some crap about that. Or like, why isn't the channel called TaskMagic? It's like, because I believe, especially early on, you should be building a personal brand around the product. To me, TaskMagic is my life. It's Kyle's life. And it's become more Kyle's life. I'm very financially deep into this. This is kind of everything. It's 90 hours a week. It truly is 70, 80 hour a week, 7 days a week. So I appreciate you. Thumb up this video. Check out this part 2. I hope you like it. You better like it. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Check it out. Make sure to subscribe if you like it. If you like the tips. Thank you. Man, like, I'm still in my head about like growing YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Literally in my head is still the conversation we had when this couch was over there. Was like growing YouTube and doing this kind of stuff, and like how you can overthink all of that.
Yeah. But what do you say in your videos? Like if they're not targeted to a specific person, like who are you talking to?
Right.
You're kind of pleasing a bunch of different segments. Not really.
I think to simplify it though, it's like you have to scratch your own itch at the beginning. Like you have to go, I wish this something existed. Like, for instance, it goes back to a product or YouTube or whatever, where you're like, if this is this content that I would want to watch?
Yeah.
And it's like,
exactly.
like, well, is this a product I would use?
And that's if you're your own customer.
Right.
And sometimes you're not. You know, sometimes you're not your own customer.
Give me an example of that. How does that person's, if you didn't want to watch your own YouTube videos, you were like, you're not going to commit to that.
Well, I wouldn't watch my own YouTube videos because I already know what I know. So if you're at the phase that I'm at in your entrepreneurial journey, the videos I make are actually, I know that. So it's like, no, I would want to learn from that, you know? So what I do is I create content.
So your mission in driving or staying committed was making sure, like you wish that someone knew the thing that you know. So you had to get that content out.
Yeah. And when you say scratching your own itch, you're kind of right in the sense that like it's the younger me that made so many mistakes in several ventures that I either raised money for or bootstrapped that wishes he had access to the information that I now have. And for us to cultivate a healthy future of entrepreneurship, someone has to be doing that hard work. Because guess what? The accelerators and the investors are not doing that work.
Yeah.
Those people are basically selecting the best companies that apply to their program and polishing them off and helping them fundraise, which is fine. It's a part that some people need to go through and they need that kind of support. But for me, it's much more about like, how can we raise all ships so that, you know, and that's what made me start WeAreNoCode. It was just basically, I was, the director of an accelerator program in LA.
What was that called again? Startup Boost.
Yeah, and now it's called Founders Boost.
Dude, I'm here with these recall of all these names later.
Yeah, and I just basically saw thousands of applications and realized, oh my God, the number of people who have spent 30, 100, $200,000 and 2 years of their life, and they're nowhere with their startup in terms of traction, good product, product market fit, or product channel fit. And that made me frustrated. It made me realize that everyone was going through the same mistakes over and over and over. And that was for two main reasons, I realized. The first one is that everyone's there to tell you what to do. No one's there to show you how to do it. And that was a big frustration.
Tactically.
Yeah, like don't tell me to talk to customers. Tell me how to write a customer discovery interview, how to do outreach and get attention from my ideal customers, how to actually run those interviews, how to, take notes, AI, and how to analyze that data to understand where the actual problems and solutions I could target are, right? Sales and marketing. How do I go about running a campaign on LinkedIn?
I'd love to know that.
Yeah, so it's like all those tactical things are not being taught. And all these entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, are watching YouTube videos like this instead of taking serious training that can actually teach them how to do it. So that's what
you're putting them on blast, putting the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, and it's I was that guy. I'm putting myself on blast. Like I'm criticizing myself because I feel like I could have saved years of my life having just learned more tactical approaches and hard skills. So the hard skills bit is where we teach no-code tools, right? Because for the 99.7% of people who don't know how to code, there are no-code tools, right? And you can build impressive things now. You
can even build like the custom GPTs now with no-code.
Oh, 100%.
That's insane.
And you can even build more complex stuff than that, which is crazy.
Sure.
But
just imagine if you take that and you extrapolate it 5 years from now, what you'll be able to do.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is moving very quickly. And I'm so excited because there are so many amazing tools that can empower people, but people still have a hard time actually implementing those things, keeping themselves accountable. What tool do I use for what thing? And so like the second major thing is the fact that a lot of people have great ideas. They do a lot of research. They think they're hard workers. They're willing to put in the effort, but then they just don't know how to build and launch. So that's when the hard skills comes in. Like, learn an automation tool like Task Magic. Learn a no-code web builder like Softer or Bubble or V1.
I got it all, man.
Yeah,
we got it all.
You got it all.
The product. We got the suite.
Yeah. And so that's really, for me, like, the important thing is, like, people think in the short term. They think like, oh, I just have this idea. I'm going to raise a bunch of money. I'm going to build it. Like, people aren't investing in ideas anymore. But then on top of that, it's like, you need to take responsibility. Like, upskill yourself so that every time you have an opportunity that comes to you, you could take advantage of it.
Okay, let's double click on that, because I think the ability to actually take the knowledge and actually do something, go into why you think people, because I'll just say people don't invest in ideas anymore unless you've had a huge win. Like a huge win. People still do, but that is a myth. That is a unicorn. If you've made $1 billion company, what Justin Kahn or whoever else can walk into A16Z or and be like, I'm doing this idea, and they go, here's $10 million. Like, yeah, cool, that exists. For the people who haven't had a huge $1 billion win before, why is it people don't invest in ideas, in your words?
Because the cost of building a startup has significantly lowered year after year, where today you don't need that much money and you don't need technical skills. So it's basically like, and when I built my first startup, it cost a bunch of money. So like we built a live streaming platform from the ground up. You had to rent individual servers to do it. You had to, like it was crazy. Now you don't have to do any of those things. So it's like a lot of it's plug and play. So, and investors invest in people who actually get stuff done, right? There was a great, like David, my buddy David told me about this, this thing like learnings per, like dollars per learnings per dollar or something like that. And his whole theory was like, I want to invest in founders who are going to like learn quicker than other founders, so they cost me less in their learning path. And yeah, I just think that that's brilliant, because it really is about like, the ability to execute is what convinces an investor to invest in you. And right now I'm actually creating a video about this company called Synthflow that is like releasing basically these like you can build agents like agent GP, like the GPTs, but they layer stuff on top of that and fine tune the model even deeper. And so it's like you can build like voice assistants that are calling out to your leads after they went to one of your events, and like, and
I feel like you're going to throw this video now on your YouTube and this is going to be your sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. No, but I mean, like, it's like these, there's so much that's possible to do. Guess what this guy did?
What?
He built.
Which guy?
His name is Albert.
Okay.
And sorry about that.
No worries. Leave this in.
Yeah.
This is real world.
This is real world.
This is my meter has run out on in Jeremy's off.
Exactly.
Was it?
It is.
No.
Almost.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, now I'm forgetting what we were talking about.
Alfred.
Yeah, so Alfred, basically, he built his product and his AI product in 2 weeks with no code tools.
Yeah, man.
Got 1,200 users on his launch through Product Hunt, and then got approached by investors to raise $1.8 million in one round.
Okay, but had Alfred done something successful before? Well, okay.
No.
Had he done something successful before? Was he a complete nobody?
He was not a complete nobody. He had learned how to. He was a good Bubble developer.
Okay.
He had learned Bubble. He had learned a no-code tool.
Okay.
And no, he wasn't a person who had raised hundreds of millions of dollars for other startups. No.
Okay.
He didn't have like $1 billion exit.
Then that's a good, successful,
and
inspirational.
And that's the thing. Like, the investors behind it, and I talk about this in the next video, but basically it's like the investors behind him, like, they were super stoked that he was able to move so quickly.
You're on your channel right now.
I'm on my channel. What's even happening? Is this Inception? Where are we?
Yeah, I'm like, what next video? I talk about this in my next video. And I'm like, damn, all right, that's perfect. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't know what I was even talking about, but
I'll get you back on track. Alfred, 1.8 million.
Yeah. And
your next video.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, yeah, he was able to do it. And the ability to iterate quickly is the most important thing for early stage startups. And now he has a hybrid. He like uses some code. And he has, his whole front end is still no code on Bubble.
Yep.
And it's incredibly successful.
That's the point. It's like
6 months from idea to $1.8 million raise.
How much revenue?
I actually don't know exactly.
That's the only part that I'm thinking about now. Yeah. It's like, I'm going straight from. So this is just a lesson, and watch his next video. But like, this is a lesson on why you can get started. And I don't know the reason why people don't. I think it's because they're afraid of failure. Who cares? There's resources like mine, like here, like Task Magic, like WeAreNoCode, like Christian. There are things out there that people who give a right?
Yeah.
I think I heard this quote that was like, a millionaire will never laugh at you for saying you want to become a millionaire, right? Mm-hmm. But like the person making 75 grand a year will.
Yeah.
Right. The YouTuber with 10 million subs will never laugh at you for saying you want to have 1 million subs.
Yeah.
But the person who has none and who never took the shot will laugh at you.
Yeah.
Get beyond that. Find the Jeremys and the Christians of the world. And like while I have you here, did you want to add to that? It sounds like you want to.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was like terrified of getting on camera. I was so judgmental towards myself.
Oh,
like when I first was like, oh, I need to record video. Like, really, video? Isn't that a bit gimmicky? Like, you're already someone, in the startup world. You think that way, but it's like,
get on video.
Everyone has to actually confront some of their own fears if they want to get to the place they want to go.
What do you think is the biggest fear of doing that? Like, what made you fearful of turning record on?
I think it's the same thing as a lot of people, which is like fear of judgment.
Yeah.
Sometimes fear of failure, like fear of you think someone's going to your channel and be like, look at that video. It only has 38 views. What an idiot.
Yeah, that's it.
And listen, if there are people that I know who were doing that in their early stages, like of me, and there are plenty of videos that have like 10, 20 views in my early days. Like
I still have them.
Like, who's sadder in this story? The friend of mine who went to my YouTube channel and went to look at every video and were like, hey, he only has this number of views, or the guy who's actually trying to, like, It's like
man.
Both of them are sad.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
No,
but
sorry.
like one of them
the
is
other
sadder
guy
than
is
the other.
Sadder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
that's a great. Who's the person the old friend of mine who's going on? Yeah, that's right.
And I think the sideliners are always the most critical. It's like, because we hear that voice in our head that's like probably our parents telling us like, oh yeah, that's nice, but it's just a hobby. Like you have all these voices in your head that you don't really, but that start becoming your own voice, judging yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that those things, unless you're able to identify them and kind of start overcoming them, it's like you're always going to be like hardwired that way, and you're always going to be a bit stuck.
Yeah.
And so for one thing I've realized is I never try to do too much mindset, because I'm not too much of a Tony Robbins kind of guy.
Sure.
But like the more I realize, like, oh man, like yes, actionable steps to build your startup, yes, hard skills, but the third piece of the puzzle is like mindset. It's like people are stuck in their own thing, overthinking, overcomplicating, and take no actions because they have too many courses of action.
Yo.
Wow, there you go. That's a great quote.
Damn. Watch out for his next YouTube video.
About how to
in my next video. Man, you turn the camera on, it doesn't matter whose podcast he's on his own. You're in your own world, and that's what I like. Like everything is like from the point of like a content creator for you now. So like it's almost like you've been hardwired over the like I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I think I would do the same thing. I think it just becomes habitual,
Yeah, it's funny. I'm like trying to be more of myself on the YouTube channel too, because one thing I realize is that like
you're a wonderful person.
I'm a really like good talker, But then like in terms of like I'm very good at like communicating a thought from start to finish without stumbling over myself, and making it clear and understandable for anyone who doesn't usually like, understand, right?
Yeah.
So, but that is kind of a double-edged sword. You can easily find yourself just like talking about random stuff, and that's not really interesting. And for me, because I have that, I think that every sentence that comes out of my mouth has to be perfect. And so in the editing for YouTube, I'm always making it perfect, but then it's too perfect. And guess what people love? A little genuine. That's why like I love the format of like, exactly. And so
that's why I've interrupted you from time to time and talk over here and do this with the microphone. Because it's like, I love the imperfections.
Yeah.
I love and let me interrupt your thoughts,
Yeah. And that's tough too to find when you're like doing interviews. Like, how do you know to pick up the cue of like, now I can speak without seeming like you're interrupting? And it's like, that's a tough thing as well, like, and I think it's like, but yeah, basically what's difficult is being yourself in front of a lens. Because right now, like I'll be here and I'll be talking to you as if you're just a human looking at me, but like you're not, you're a camera lens. And it actually is weird to like put out all the same emotions, talking like with emotion towards just a screen. And that's something that takes time for you to develop and to like, and then like I won't blink my eyes. I'll be like looking at the camera, and then like people like on my channel will be like, are you an AI? And, and then I'll be like, here are 3 reasons why I'm not an AI, which is the next video.
Oh, which in the next video, the video after the next video I mentioned. There were 2 things I wanted to talk to you about.
Let's do it.
One of the things, well, before you leave, because your alarm has gone off and I don't want you to get a parking ticket, is building the personal brand versus like building the company. And how like my take is early on, the team matters more, like the founder matters more. And I'm a solo founder. And I've like the channel here is like Jeremy Redmond. Right. And how I built Task Magic, and then how the team built Task Magic and the early employees, and Kyle, who is the closest thing to a co-founder that I'd ever would have had or have. Like, he can call himself whatever he wants. He deserves it. But like, for me, it's more about who's building this. Right. And who demonstrating the journey. And I heard this quote that was Apple on Instagram has 6 million followers. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, has 11. So which one means more? And you're like, damn. Like, is there a shift? Have you seen something? What's your opinion on the person building it and the personal brand and the actual thing that they're building?
Yeah. This is a great thing. So first of all, I would recommend that people in general like talk and try to build audiences around individuals. What I mean by that is like, if you're on LinkedIn, build your own personal brand. Don't like build your company's LinkedIn profile, right? If you're on YouTube, you can call yourself just your name. You can also choose to call it your company's name, and you're, one of the people on the channel. I've seen this done successfully in several cases, right? So like, I think that this is definitely a very hot topic. I think that basically anyone who's a CEO of a company or a person that is of significance in a company should be building a personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
And just because now it's a responsibility thing. It's like you're the CEO of this, and you're not like speaking out about this. You're not like creating content. You're not.
Right.
It's like this is the world that we're in right now, and it might not be the world that we're in the future. And I don't like talking about it like personal branding, because it sounds like you're like adapting yourself to kind of seem a certain way. But
Sure.
it's more about like communicating your why and your vision, and through that, yeah, sure, like you'll talk about your product sometimes, but like it's a very good question, because I was considering changing the We Are No Code channel to Christian Peverelli.
Yep.
But I'm also thinking down the
Peverelli.
line, which is like, yes, I want to continue to create amazing content for my subscribers, but hey, one day maybe I'll also, have 3 other people who are creating specific other types of content that's also released on my YouTube channel. And it, and as I think YouTube starts going more and more towards being mainstream TV, these channels start becoming like segments almost, it's like, and I didn't even ever really make that analogy. I don't think it's going to work exactly that way, but I think we're actually we're really in the second inning of YouTube. I think the first inning was maturity, growth, taking over the market, being the number one. I think the second inning is defined by the creator economy. I think the third inning, I don't know what it's going to be, but I think definitely they're doing work on like AI stuff that's going to be interesting. Like, and I'm interested to see where it goes. But I think this, like, YouTube, I read some quote and I don't have it at all in front of me, but just basically saying that, like, yeah, YouTube is so big, surpassed TV, like everything.
Sure.
So it's like, I do believe
that's a good quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe that that this is an interesting time. And then for the personal versus like brand channels, I think it kind of depends. For the most part, I would say use just your name and build a brand. Because here's the thing: if you're a CEO like me and I build a brand around myself, then I get to bring that brand anywhere that I want for any future needs that I have. Right?
Yeah.
If I build a brand around We Are No Code, and let's say one day I choose to sell We Are No Code, well, I sell that following, right?
Yeah.
To a certain extent. So there are give or takes. It does help that I'm 100% owner of my company.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, these are things that you kind of you want to consider. And then I don't know, like the tricky part becomes like, what if you're head of marketing at a company?
Well,
like,
yeah,
well,
sure.
then you probably need to be on the channel.
My take was always like, we had V1, so I
Mhm.
would have called this channel V1.
Yeah.
Same company. It was V1 Inc. The legal company name
Yeah.
was V1 Inc. Then we changed it to Task Magic Inc.
Yeah.
Once that was our main focus. Then I would have had to change the channel name again. The one variable that will never change is me at the helm.
Yeah.
So like me as the figurehead, me as the person building it, and then the early team building it as well. Kyle, Vince,
but here's the
etc.
thing. But that's the thing. Like if that's also a big assumption, because like one thing that I always tell founders is like, you're great for this phase, you're probably terrible for the next. Like,
Yeah, sure. Could
if
be.
you raise $100 million for this venture and this
Yeah.
is going huge, like you're not. I mean, you may be, and I'm not. I'm saying I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm just saying, with the larger likelihood is that the skills that brought you from 0 to a million or 2 million or 5 million or 10 million will not be the same skills required to build a systemized company with hundreds of employees that generates hundreds of millions and exits for billions, you know?
Right.
So it depends what we're shooting for here. I'm also a huge believer of like, yeah, let's start waking up that dream of building $5 million companies where you own a big share and you become rich.
Yeah.
It's like, in the end of the day, people are trying to like make money. Let's not like, like people are trying to be successful, make money, support their families, have the freedom. And what I'm realizing is that these lifestyle businesses are becoming more and more popular within entrepreneurs who have exited companies sometimes that are high growth, raised hundreds of, like lots of money, exited with big numbers, but Now they're more interested in these cash cow businesses that they can basically, generate revenue quickly with, grow, doesn't require having huge teams. And I think that's actually the future of small, medium businesses, is the fact that like every business is a software business. And so like, that's where what I teach is not only applicable to the guy who wants to raise a bunch of money, but also to the guy who just wants to build a business that generates money. Guess why? Because you got to build something, drive people towards it, and then get your first paying customers. And all that's online.
That's 3.
And all of
that's
it,
3.
And all of it requires like, building the website, creating some automations, and then some marketing. So like all these things are.
And I think just bring it back to the original piece was building it around the team. Early on, no one knows the company's name. No one know the company has no trust. No nothing. Early on, and we're talking at least to the millions of dollars of revenue. They want to go, who's behind this company? When we launched on AppSumo, the AppSumo team was like, you have a team page. Like they want to know accountability, responsibility, who's building this, and it's like, great. So I went all in, right? Just using that formula. It's like, this is me, mother, right? You want to come for me? Come for me. Say it publicly because I'm putting my name to this. This is my life. And that is what I'm showing you. So like, and some people like that, some people don't, but like, you can clearly tell I'm here, right? Like I want to take down Zapier with as much vigor as I possibly can. We'll squeeze that in every time.
I love that. Yeah,
but
exactly.
So I feel like we've got to get you to your parking spot as fast as
happy to answer
possible.
any last questions if you have any.
I guess the one thing would be for people starting their no-code journey or their automation journey, which is the no-code journey. What do they do at the like, if you were to give 1 or 2 steps that you haven't given already to get their very first customer? Like my advice normally is beg for it. Like find someone you think that could use that. I always think
go to your local Subway.
Get
a cup.
Depending on what it is though, it's like you can outside of this is the funny thing. I just remember this one thing. I'm going to bridge it into this and I'm not going to edit this out. But it's all the feedback from people that you can aggregate, or people building things aggregate. Everyone, they go to their mom or they go to a prospective customer and they say, the customer says to them, oh, this is wonderful, or this is great, or like, yeah, I like that it has this feature, and like, yeah, I would definitely use this. Then ask them to put their credit card in for even just $1 or $10. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything they tell you after you go in for the sale is the real feedback.
Yeah.
Right. So like you have to distinguish those two.
Yeah.
Getting feedback and asking for money for something is something I don't take lightly. I think people should get to that monetization point as fast as possible, because no one wants you if no one's going to pay $1 for it.
Yeah.
So like, what is kind of your advice to getting that paid customer, that first $1 in during like maybe their interviews or things like that?
Yeah. I mean, what you're describing is validation basically, right? Like
with money.
Yeah. And validation, the ultimate validator is money in the bank, right? But there are other things that we can do before that give us validation, right? So the least validation is at least having someone who says that they have a problem that they want solved, right? But yeah, I think the quicker that, first of all, you put together a value proposition, which is like an offer, and you put it in front of someone and you see if they're interested or excited about it, right? And if you see that people are interested about it, find a way to test that they're taking an action that shows they want to buy. So for example, it's a physical product. Put a fake buy button. Like just a design version of the product.
That's a good one.
Design like a fake buy button. When they click on that, we're out of stock right now. Sign up to be the first to get, like.
That's a good little hack.
Oh, but there's a bunch. This is a smoke test, basically. It's like testing people's actions. So like you're going to build an app. Create a download app button on your thing. And if they don't click on it, guess what? They're not going to download the app. They click on it and you say, oh, sign up for the beta. You're going to be the first to find out. Now you're starting to get intent actions that are not money, but they're one step before money.
That's good.
And then what you do is you get the feedback from those people who are taking the actions, and you build the product for them.
That's
so
good.
You don't overbuild the product, you backward engineer it, and then you build a product that people actually use. And then you have to understand that your first stab at building the product is going to require feedback. So that's where I actually beg for feedback, and I'm willing to give a very cheap price for the actual first paid, because I'm more interested in people giving me in-depth feedback and then understanding who you're targeting. Some of those people will not be the right person to target because they're too difficult to reach. They don't have the money. They don't have the problem hard enough, or they don't face the problem enough in a given like month, day, year. And so those are the kind of segments that you suddenly want to be like, that kind of person, not the right customer. And then the more you focus in on that one customer that you're solving the problem for, the more you're able to laser focus, build the best freaking product for that person. And that's works for the first paying customer. But if there's one paying customer, you can bet your there's going to be thousands of people in the same situation in different places of America, the world, different countries. They're going to be in that same scenario. That's when product channel fit starts. Where it's like, now let's go down the different avenues we think these people hang out in. And I'm not focused on this guy. I'm not focused on this guy, not this guy. There's 10 people I'm ignoring in the market that this could help. This really helps this person, and I'm going to focus on that first. And that's the beachhead market. And yeah, as soon as you get that figured out, the friction to market is way lower, meaning that you put the right offer in front of the right person at the right time, and people buy from you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be a secondhand car salesman. And that's what people forget. They're like, oh, I'm not a sales guy. I'm not a marketing guy. Marketing is just about getting the right message in front of the right person.
And there's nothing wrong with car salesmen.
Exactly. But if you don't understand what the customer is looking for, you're just basic. And that's the same thing with the content on a YouTube channel. Like, you're going to create the content that you know that ideal customer is looking for. They might be going to YouTube, typing in XYZ, and guess who they find? A video tutorial of you explaining something that adds value to them in that space. So the more you can cater the entire experience, the product, the marketing channel, to one specific customer, one problem, it should, like, ideally, in an ideal world, like this whole like scalable
and this
startup
is
thing,
entire course right here.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to work with us anymore. But no, I mean, the subtleties are in all the differences in all the ideas. All the founders are different. The tools you need to use to build are different. So it's always going to require a bit of a personal touch. But the more you can align all these things, like one problem, targeting like one kind of customer, that with one product, with maybe even just one feature or two features or three core feature, or like one clear outcome through one marketing channel, through like the more you can just be like this, the more you can create a company that's
or
like
you
scalable.
can up all your and go, this is so horizontally applicable. We're going to launch to the largest LTD company of all time. We're going to bring in over 4,000 people with all different use cases, and is going to clog our support tickets like mad, and is going to comment on YouTube like mad, and you're going to have to do everything with a team of 4.
This sounds like experience.
This is like, is the fruit worth the picking? And it's like, dude, you'll never feel more alive ever than like launching something you believe is so horizontal and they bring the problems to you. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend what I just said. But at least I recommend everything you said.
But listen, what I'm saying is also an unrealistic scenario. You're never just going to have one feature. You're never just going to have only one type of customer that comes towards you. You're not always. But the more you can be aligned with that,
the more you can be focused,
the more you're able to just not throw around your very limited resources in an early stage. And that, my friend, when you are 1, 2, or 3 people, is the name of the game.
I agree.
Where are you investing your time, and where are you investing your few resources? And one thing that people don't realize when like we work with them is like, oh my God, this would have taken me 6 months, and through that cost me way more. Or like, we every single week make sure that the founders that we're working with are focused on the right task for this week. Stop looking at the whole mountain. You don't get this right, you're not even going to be able to get the next step right. And I think that's what happens. It's like we get in our own heads, and then we end up doing a bunch of stuff, and there's only a small segment of that stuff that's really moving the needle. We get easily distracted. It's just it's a bit difficult, but it's like, and it's never going to be easy, but it doesn't have to be as complicated.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it's never going to be easy.
Yeah. I like that. And this has been Jeremy Redmond on the We Are No Code YouTube channel.
Thanks for shouting out the channel.
Dude, you were on fire.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Half the time I was just watching your YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll just like cut this into shorts and then
I feel like you're gonna have to do some. I feel like if you do clip this and throw it on your just naturally you know what I mean?
No, it is. And this is like the funny thing is like that's why I want to create
I feel
a
like you
podcast,
were more on fire in here than some of your videos.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Like you're in a different environment because I don't think you've posted many of these types of things on your channel.
Haven't. Yeah.
Right.
No, I haven't.
You were on a different level.
Yeah, I mean, like I love going to interviews. Like I love it because like I get to interact with humans instead of cameras.
Instead of camera lenses. Okay.
Yeah.
Christian, where can they find you?
So you can check it out
outside of this channel. We Are No Code.
Yeah. So We Are No Code is pretty much everywhere. So you can just find us on our the .com. You can find
you probably
us on,
own that search. Right?
Yeah.
We Are No Code.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have YouTube channel, Christian Peverelli on LinkedIn. We do post some stuff on the
Where is Peverelli from?
It's Italian, Swiss Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ticino.
Swiss Italian.
Yeah. So I'm actually half
so it's
Swiss,
Peverelli.
half Argentine. My mom's born in Argentina.
Oh wow.
That's from Switzerland. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And he found his way to Los Angeles. And then Mexico though?
Yeah. Yeah. Moving
you
to
dropped
Mexico.
that bomb right before we pressed record.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm moving to Mexico in 6 months to be closer to family.
Oh wow!
Because my wife's family is from there. She's half Mexican.
Okay.
And I'm building a whole new studio
in Mexico.
In a place called Ensenada, that's about 2 hours from Tijuana.
Okay.
So I'll be 4-hour drive from LA.
That's not bad.
I do the drive.
You have to come back
at least once a month.
Oh
right now, yeah. I go and visit the in-laws and the friends and all that. Yeah, so I'm stoked. I'm stoked to do that because I get to build a new studio.
Congratulations, man. Yeah. I appreciate you for coming on. I really do. And making the drive up.
And I'm so glad we actually hung out in person because like this is our first meeting in person.
That to me is insane.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny how that works.
The first time we met in person.
Yeah.
And you got to feel this energy.
All of it.
You had to put
through one camera lens. So basically the side of you see the side of my face, the whole show.
The real thing is like you had to put up with me.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. You had to put up with us.
Yeah, right. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. Press subscribe, press like if you liked content like this.
Awesome.
Find this is obviously Jeremy Redmond, but find him, Christian Peverelli. What is it? Peverelli. See, when I say it with that accent.
Peverelli.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Peverelli. No, I didn't do it. Do you do it one more time?
Peverelli.
Damn it. That's actually really good. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I'm going to start designer clothes.
Designer belts.
Yeah.
Okay. Christian, We Are No Code. Check him out on his YouTube. Thanks so much for coming on, brother.
Just get started. Something I always say on the channel. Let's
just
go.
Get started. Let's go, right?
Yeah.
LFG. Download Zapier.
Take care.